On the 4th of November 2016, Rontown dropped Mad Over You, and surprisingly, the song went viral to become the biggest song of his career. With over 160 million views on YouTube, there was no denying the fact that the song was indeed everywhere. Because of how big Mad Over You was, Runtown was now being compared to the likes of Wizkid and Davido, who at that time were considered the two biggest African superstars. Runtown went on tour, performing in different cities across the world. In terms of awards, Mad Over You won several awards, including the Song of the Year at the 2018 Hades Award. The stage was set. Runtown was supposed to become the next big pop star out of Africa. We have seen instances where artists like Tyler and Burna Boy blew up at the international stage because of just one of their songs. Tyler went viral and even won a Grammy because her song Water went viral on TikTok. Burna Boy became a force to be reckoned with internationally because his 2018 song You went viral and pulled in millions of streams. But unlike these guys that I just mentioned, Rontown had multiple songs that went viral. After Mad Over You, he dropped songs like For Life, Painkiller, Energy, and so many more, all of which pulled in millions of views across different streaming platforms. So when you tried to compare, the odds were actually in Runtown's favor. But while we were all expecting Runtown to take over the world, while we were all expecting him to take Afrobeat to the next level, he completely disappeared from the spotlight. Musically, he was nowhere to be found. A look through his Twitter page showed that the last time he made a post online was on the 16th of September 2023. Fans online are now asking the obvious question: where on earth is Runtown? I am also asking the question because I have no idea what happened to Runtown. But in order to answer this question, we have to take a look back to the early stages of his career. Runtown started his career as a musician a very long time ago. His debut song was released in 2007, and despite being a solo artist, Runtown was getting attention and exposure. There was no need for him to sign a deal with any record label. According to Runtown himself, his friends were not in support of him making such a decision. But Runtown was not satisfied. He was not happy with the pace at which his career was moving. In his moment of doubt, an opportunity to sign a deal with Eric Mani Records presented itself. And despite the fact that his friends had initially warned him, Runtown went ahead and signed the deal in 2014. But after just a few months, Runtown realized that he had just made the biggest mistake of his career. Runtown traveled to London for vacation, but upon returning to Nigeria, his label boss pulled a gun on him, questioning why he traveled out of the country without seeking permission from the record label first. When I got back, I went to Mr. Dilly's house and he started ranting and asking why did I travel. I told him that it is just London and that the contract I signed does not state that I cannot have personal travels. The next thing he did was to pull out a gun and threaten me. I felt scared and confused. I did not go to London to do a show. I simply went there for my vacation. But this was only just the beginning. The main reason why Runtown signed the deal in the first place was because he expected the label to push and promote his song. This is what record labels are known to do, by the way. But in Runtown's case, the scenario was quite different. They did not support or promote his songs in any way. Runtown had to use his own personal money to pay for studio sessions and also pay for video shoots. The sad part in all of this is that when the songs do well, the label will take a large chunk of the profit and leave Runtown with basically nothing. The label made no investment in Runtown, but when it is time to take profit, they will take 80 to 90% of everything. After enduring all this harsh treatment for years, Runtown made up his mind, and in 2016, he attempted to terminate his contract with Eric Mani Records. The label was not ready to let Runtown leave, so they took the matter to court, and this was how Runtown's legal battle with the label began. After several months of legal battle, the court finally ruled in Runtown's favor, declaring him free to pursue his music career without any obligations to Eric Mani. Runtown was finally free. He established his own independent record label, which he called Sound Good Music Group. Runtown expected things to go back to the way they were, but realistically, there was no way that was ever going to happen. You see, when an artist tries to force his way out of a record label, the career of that artist never remains the same again. I don't know how these record labels do it, but the moment you say you want to get out, they come together and blacklist you in the music industry. We have seen it happen to the likes of Lil K, Mubed, Lito, Ricardo Bangs, and so many talented artists. And sadly as I might sound, this was the same fate that befell on Runtown. For someone who was easily pulling in 100 million views not quite long ago, he was now struggling to get just 1 million views on some of his songs. The more Runtown dropped new music, the more his numbers continued to decrease. Rontown decided to take a break from music, and after 1 year away from the music scene, he announced his return by releasing a brand new album. Fans were excited about the album. They felt that maybe this was how Rontown would get his career back. But despite the anticipation, the album couldn't help resurrect Rontown's dying career. That was the final straw that Rontown could take. The message he was getting was that people were no longer feeling his songs like they used to. Since the release of his heavily criticized album in 2022, Rontown has completely disappeared with no trace. Succeeding as a solo artist in the music industry has never been an easy task. But with the talents that he has, I do believe that Rontown can make a major comeback in the music scene. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed watching this, please subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos like these.